Hello everyone. I know it's been a while since I've put anything up, but that is because I've been off parental leaving with this little chap down here. I've been doing an awful lot of walking around the streets and footpaths of Warwickshire, and when I walk through a place like this, it does make me want to share some biology with you. So I want to tell you a little bit about the most important scientist you've never heard of. A guy credited with saving over 1 billion lives, a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize, a guy who stopped famine in India, Pakistan and in Mexico and completely rewrote the way we see modern agriculture. He's known as the father of the Green Revolution, and the secret was wheat. And whenever I walk through a field like this, it makes me think of him. The guy's name's Borlaug, and I want to tell you a little bit about his story. So, as I hope you'll recognise, I am in a wheat field, and it looks like this is just about ready to harvest. Now what you might notice as well is that this wheat is really short. It's what's called dwarf wheat, and actually it's the majority of the wheat you'll see kicking around in fields. So the problem with wheat before about 1950, right before his work, was that it was very tall. So essentially you could breed the wheat, you could grow the wheat, you could selectively breed it for the bit that you want, which is the ears of wheat, the seed bits, and it would get so big and so heavy that it would fall over. Right, and that obviously is no good if you want to harvest it, because it will fall over and it will rot on the ground. There was also a problem in lots of places with rust fungus that was affecting wheat. So the wheat's falling over, we're reaching a limit on how much we can breed. Okay, so what he did was he went down to Mexico and actually started breeding his own wheat crops. Okay, so breeding his own wheat crops, crossbreeding them, and came up with this. Norman didn't have an easy time of it. He had to go through all sorts of different rigmaroles to get his research taken seriously. He started off working during the Second World War effectively for the military. He did all sorts of stuff, like made different glues to keep cargo from breaking up in salt water and various other things. It was only later that he got into looking into farming, and what he was trying to do was crossbreed fungus-resistant cultivars of wheat to stop them being susceptible to that rust fungus. He went down to Mexico, eventually got funding to do it. He was working on a shoestring doing this and turned down a massive, great pay packet from the military, but he turned that down and moved away from his family to go to Mexico to do this research on wheat. And he actually instituted a 2-crop growing season, right, using different altitudes and different places within Mexico, which allowed his research to progress much faster. Then he was made aware of a Japanese dwarf variety of wheat with a much thicker stem, right, and much shorter growth height, which actually would have supported the sort of seed bits, the starchy bits, much better. He bred these together, and long story short, wham bam, thank you bam, we've now got this as the most common wheat field on the planet. And it's had profound impacts, absolutely profound impacts. It turned Mexico from a country that was a net importer of food to one that's a net exporter of wheat, so now it exports wheat. It turned India from somewhere where there were regular famines around the end of the Second World War, which if you know your history, you might know that Winston Churchill didn't cover himself with glory when talking about our responsibility towards India and its food problems. But thanks to Norman Borlaug, there's not been a famine in India since the late 50s, I believe, and managed to absolutely revolutionise agriculture around the world. The long-term impacts of this, of course, were that there are now 1 billion people on the planet who essentially owe their nutrition and owe their food to Norman Borlaug. And one of the most amazing things about Norman Borlaug is that he didn't really want any credit for what he did. He got the Nobel Peace Prize, sure, credited, as I said, with saving over 1 billion lives, and this wheat is one of the reasons why the number of people that live on this planet now can. He ended famine in the Indian subcontinent pretty much single-handedly. Obviously there were other innovations as well, but a major player in that, and he gave away all the patents. He didn't want any credit, he shied away from the limelight, he just wanted to see humanity have food to eat. And that, I think, is why he's the most important scientist that you've never ever heard of. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.